Today is World Gratitude Day, and we want to highlight our nation's heroes and those who lift them up. My next guests are Jason and his mother, Pam. Now, Jason is a remarkable young man who was deployed to Iraq in December of 2005, and Pam is his biggest supporter. 4 months after being deployed, a pipe bomb blew up his Humvee. Jason survived, but just barely. Pam says the family was told to prepare for the worst, but Jason had other plans. Here's their story.
When the airplanes hit the World Trade Center, my son Jason felt that he wanted to do something to help. So Jason decided to enlist after his graduation from high school.
When I had to say goodbye to my parents, that was the hardest day of my life.
In December of 2005, Jason was involved in a roadside bomb, and he sustained second and third degree burns to over 60% of his body. He suffered a traumatic brain injury, and they made the decision to have his left leg amputated. They transported him to Brooke Army Medical Center because of the severity of his burns. That's where the Wounded Warrior Project stepped in.
I don't know where I'd be today without the Wounded Warrior Project. They're awesome.
It's been almost 15 years since Jason's been injured, and he's been introduced to different services through them.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Rehab is extremely hard.
We enrolled him in horseback riding.
I'm really not the same person I was, but that is quite all right with me. I'm still moving forward.
Well, Jason and Pam are joining me virtually via Ionico. It's so nice to meet you both.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm so glad to do it. Pam, when you got that call that Jason had been injured in Iraq, what was going through your mind?
When the Army was describing what had happened, we just were numb from the shock of it all.
I can well imagine. In addition to the physical damage to his body, Jason also suffered a brain injury. Tell us about that.
His brain started to swell. He slipped into a coma for the next 3 months. He started slowly coming out of it and having to relearn eating and drinking and speaking. So it's been a long journey, but he's made tremendous progress.
Well, Jason, you've had a very steep hill to climb, so tell me, how are you doing now?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm working hard. I'm going to keep doing it.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Now, you have a service dog, correct?
I do. She Freedom, lap.
There's Freedom.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
So, how important has that dog been to you?
She's been incredibly important in my life.
Well, yeah, I can imagine. So, Pam, tell us about Wounded Warrior Project and how it's helped Jason and your family.
Well, within days of Jason being flown back to the States, Wounded Warrior Project introduced themselves. And since that day, they've been a pretty essential part of our lives in Jason's recovery. And most importantly, he's in their independence program. And it gives Jason the ability to do something and not be with his parents 24/7.
Yeah, you bet, because they're there sometimes 5 days a week, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. Joining us now is Lyndsay, Tkach, the Deputy Director of the Wounded Warrior Project's Independence Program. So, Lyndsay, welcome. Tell us about this amazing program and the work that you do.
The Independence Program at Wounded Warrior Project serves those post 9/11 generation wounded warriors who returned home with catastrophic injuries. Our goal at the Independence Program is to help those warriors be as independent as possible in their own homes and in their own communities, and to avoid being placed in a nursing home or institutionalized setting.
I think it's just absolutely amazing what you guys do. Can you tell us what kind of support the Wounded Warrior Project's Independence Program offers to caregivers?
We know that being a military caregiver comes with both emotional and financial burdens. And so we develop long-term care plans that address both the warrior and the caregiver's needs. And we saw those needs become even greater during the pandemic. And so we were able to do things like provide direct financial grants into the caregiver's hands, as well as expand our programming to better support them. because ultimately we know that by better supporting our military caregivers, it results in better care for our wounded warriors. And like all of our programs at Wounded Warrior Project, this is at no cost to our families. They never pay a penny for any of our services.
Well, that's just absolutely amazing. And Jason and Pam are perfect examples of how the Wounded Warrior Project can make a huge difference in an injured veteran's life. And Jason, I understand you did something really special for your mom. What was it?
I wrote her a Mother's Day card.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to share them. The first one says, "Mom, thank you for everything you do for me." And the other one says, "I love you more than life itself. You're my angel without wings. Love, Jason." Pam, what did you think when you read Jason's cards?
I had no idea that he could actually write legibly. And so to hear him put those thoughts down just really melted my heart and made me feel like it's all been worth it.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that, and it's just a testament to the Wounded Warrior Project. It just and all of the hard work that everybody has put in. And I just want to tell people to learn more about Wounded Warrior Project and their life-changing programs for our nation's warriors and their families. I'm going to ask you please to visit woundedwarriorproject.org.